Hello.
Can you hear us out there in live land?
Yo, what's happening?
Clicking buttons. Hey, welcome to another episode of Aussies taking over the NBA. It's been
been
how
a
many
while.
weeks? 2 weeks.
2.5 weeks.
Yeah, going hard, working hard.
New jobs.
Yeah, new jobs, kids, moving house, building things. You know, it's been pretty hardcore.
Time is a luxury one does not have anymore.
Yeah, so been working out how to get here to the microphone. It's been a bit of a struggle, but we're here today to do a Baynesy. Finally get to the Baynesy season review.
Indeed, moving into the postseason, playing for the Boomers.
Yeah, that's coming up pretty soon.
It is. They're playing down under in about 8 weeks.
Yeah, Simmons has been announced as well that he's going to play.
Simmons has been announced. Brokoff is bitching out because he's having a kid.
That's a bit harsh.
Nah, it's not harsh, man. Get away from that thing. I know, I've had one, so it's all good. I can make that.
You know from experience?
I know from experience, mate. You want to play basketball. Also, Exum's obviously out with injury.
Yeah.
And Thon Maker has been withdrawn by the Detroit Pistons to work on his game in the offseason.
Yeah, well, that's kind of needed, really, to be honest.
That's just...
I think he's at a crossroads. He's off contract, is he?
Restricted.
Yeah, so if they are going to re-sign him...
They will for this season.
Yeah.
I think
it's understandable, I guess.
Yeah, because they're looking at moving on Blake Griffin as well, so... That's a weird thing. Like, he got you to the finals there. Let's just get this guy. And like, what are you building for? What are you trying to achieve?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Anyway, we'll get on to Baynesy. We'll get on to the Celtics as a bit of a hole first because they were touted as the new dynasty to take on the Warriors this year. And man, did that fall apart pretty badly.
Yeah, it was a bit of a, we should go all the way back to the start of last year, obviously, with that Hayward injury. They went on that huge tear, 17 games, I think, unbeaten. Yeah. It was all great. Kyrie was doing good. They went all the way through to the postseason. Baynesy was even getting like a lot of minutes, developed a real reputation, a real role. Comes the playoffs, bit of a disappointing playoffs.
Well, Kyrie's out. Terry Rozier takes over.
Yeah.
They take the Cavs to 7 games and then kind of just chunk out at the end.
Yeah, just lose, And then, with Hayward and Kyrie Irving out, you think they're going to come back next season. These two, adding these two in, it's going to be great. And then it ended up being like a chemistry killer, which... Yeah,
Hayward, I don't think will ever be the same Hayward, to be completely honest with you.
No.
I think he should just stick to streaming Twitch.
Twitch stream, HyperX Gaming.
HyperX Gaming.
Shout out.
No, it's not that. I think that his time at the Celtics is done. I think they use him as a trade piece this year in something. You just can't justify a $30 million contract for the output that you were getting as the sixth man. Not like Lou Williams, who's getting paid like $9 million and, taking the Clippers into the postseason where they just shouldn't have been, and, taking the Warriors to 6 games. So...
And then Uncle Drew, we should...
Yeah, but Uncle Drew is a weird fucking recluse that just sits in his hole and stews and, everyone's shit. We won, that's bad. Everyone's shit.
Again, you got to go all the way back to the start of the season, this season, and go... to where he had that fan day and he said, no, I'll be here. I'm going to re-sign.
Yeah,
and then 2 months later, it was just like slagging people off. And you were like, are you really staying? Like, what's going on? No. And then you just was like, why did you just do that in the first place? Why did you go out and say that in the first place?
Who knows? I think he doesn't know what he does himself. I think he wants to be a franchise head, but he's never going to take a franchise all the way by himself.
But again, the Celtics aren't the Cavs. Okay, so that's a bad way to explain it. But the Celtics have a huge history, and there's a certain type of thing you have to live up to with the Celtics.
There is, because not only do they have a huge history, the city of Boston's such a sport Celtics mad. It's almost like a religion in that city, and so. They don't want you if you don't want to be there. If you're just being there for the sake of it, they don't want you there.
Exactly, and unless you buy in.
Yeah, and I don't think he bought in ever. No. I think he just got traded and it was like, oh yeah, this is mad. I'll try and stick this for a couple of years. And when it all came to push and shove and it all fell apart, when he got injured a bit and they lost and they just died in the postseason.
Last year.
last year and this year.
Did he get injured in this year's postseason? It's been so long
He
now.
didn't get injured, but he just died. He died in the arse, really. He shot terribly. He played terribly.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We won't get ahead. We'll talk about that, but we won't get ahead of ourselves. If you are listening on YouTube, we don't have the video today. We've just got the audio. We're streaming on YouTube. Come check out our Facebook page. Aussies taking over the NBA. Hashtag the Collective Podcast Network on SoundCloud. Aussies taking over the NBA on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. Just come and see us. We'll try and get Andy sharing this out on Facebook rather than sharing the actual videos on Facebook, which seem to get him banned for some reason, which is kind of weird.
Yeah,
we'll just put our YouTube link into all the different things and say, hey, come and see us. And so come and say g'day, leave comments. Eventually we'll get some comments and we'll try and get that going.
Kick things up.
But yeah, so this season the Celtics, Baynesy, 51 games played, 18 starts. He had a bit of an injury hit season.
He's 34, man. Like he's not a spring chicken. He's an older player, wiser. He shaved the top knot off, which is a bit of just went full.
Bit Samson-ish. There goes his longevity in the league.
I think he just kind of does what Bjorn and Vikings does. This season, Bjorn shaved his head, Baynes shaved his head.
Yeah.
So I think he's taken a leaf out of that book. But he looked a bit struggly this year in terms of fitness. Played well in K1, still a big unit. But his last season, he's got one more opt-in, which is of course he'll opt in.
I think he signed the deal this season for
1
2
plus
years.
1.
Yeah.
1+1 player, play extension next season, which he'll opt into because why would you not? Playing for the Celtics.
So to go back to that postseason last year, like he had, this crazy postseason that made you go, oh wow, like he went 0 of 12 in the entire season from 3-point range, and he hit 2 of 2 with 6 games left. So 2 from 14 on the season, you're like, oh no, or 3 of 23 for the season rather. And then he gets to the playoffs last year, 11 of 23, shooting 47%. Suddenly you go, oh, Baynesy, nice. We can use this season. And then you get Hayward and Irving back, and it's, we don't need Baynesy shooting in the corner. We actually need Baynesy as a defensive stop in the paint now because we've got other guys, perimeter guys. And everywhere you look in this Celtics roster, there were so many different singular problems that just contributed to everything else. Like you take that single problem away and suddenly everything else goes, oh, sweet, yeah, no, we work. Or, and it might not necessarily be one player. It could be that guy. You take that guy away, and then you bring this guy in, and it ruins it again. And you bring a new guy in, and it ruins again. You take that guy. Like it's just so many different problems coming from all different angles. And then chemistry problems, team problems. Like it really was just. It was supposed to go. Like what did we have? 60 wins in our over/under predictions. A lot of people were like 60-win team, easy.
No, just didn't get there. I mean, Kyrie was injured a bit during the year. Baynes injured too. Horford was injured for a bit.
Yeah.
Hayward was very up and down, not efficient at all.
We should talk a little bit quickly about Hayward.
Tentative,
weird season, man.
Yeah, when it's something like when he scored over 15 points, they won every game.
Yeah,
it was some ridiculous stat like that. Yet he couldn't put more than 10 up most nights, shooting all from the field, or just not taking shots, not taking any volume. It's I'm not I'm just gonna pawn that off. Like there's a better shooter out there.
But the team is built kind of like that, though. It really is.
Not really. When you think about what the team is trying to achieve, is we've got these really 2 expensive players that need to fit into this roster this season, and Hayward is the 6th man. He's going to play 6th man this year because we've got a solid lineup. But there's no volume when he comes on the floor.
No.
There's no real passing. There's no aggressive rebounding. There's just kind of him just being passive in the corner, maybe shooting some shots. Not really getting to the rim hard. Just being very tentative around things. Like, you can understand why. Like, he snapped his ankle pretty badly.
For sure. It takes a whole year. And then sort of down the end of the season, he kind of looked a lot better.
He did.
And then the expectations to go, he's going to come back in the playoffs and look really good.
All-star, no.
Then it didn't happen.
He needs an off-season to get back. I think what he needs is a fresh team. I think he gets traded to Memphis for Mike Conley.
Possibly.
I think that's a straight swap.
You're really high on this trading Hayward bandwagon.
I think it's best for both. He's a $30 million dead cap space. He goes to another team. He maybe opens up a bit, gets a few players to come down, plays with a young group.
That's the problem, right? He needs a time machine back to being 21 to play 5 years with the Celtics and earn that $30 million contract with the Celtics.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like he's a buy-in, and you got to be a certain type of player to be a bring-in.
Yeah.
And then be universally loved by the fans and have that expectation fulfilled. I don't think he has that personality. He's not that kind of player. Like,
dude, he's a gamer. He's like a dude that streams himself on Twitch.
Well, it feels like he needs 2 or 3 years to really bed in. But you don't expect that from a $30 million big contract buy-in. You need that guy has to come in.
You need
and be
20
the man.
points a night. That's all you need. You need 20 points a night. Now, he has to give you 20 a night. Coming off the bench, not coming off the bench. And he just didn't put up the volume of shots for me. So that's why he probably needs to exit the stage. Right.
Exit stage, right? So the other thing too, like who are the leaders in that team?
Al Horford.
Horford's silent guy, big personality, but silent. Known as a silent guy. What are you doing over there?
Sorry,
pulling out cords. This is some professional stuff. Silent guy, not a big personality in terms of alpha.
Chippers, like chirpy dudes. Kyrie Irving is an alpha. He's this timid weirdo that kind of sits around and just like does his thing.
And again, Smart and Morris, are they the leaders? But they're kind of like 16 minutes a night guys that aren't go-to players.
How the fuck did Marcus Smart make all defensive?
Marcus Smart made all defensive? Yeah, but dude, all you need to do is go, how is Clay not on any of those teams?
Yeah.
Stupid award, don't care. Thanks.
Yeah, but it's just like, how do you give this guy... Like, how does Rudy Gobert eligible for a $250 million contract when he can't shoot outside 4 feet? Like,
I hope they give it to him, but...
No, don't. I like the Jazz.
Give him the money. I want to see him give him the money.
How one kills their franchise.
Yeah, exactly. Because we've seen it with a lot of these other teams where, to tie it back into the Celtics, personal growth within an organization is starting to become what makes a franchise now. It's not like... Yeah. The superstar, put him in there, give him the, like, it's like, oh, this guy came from nowhere. Like, Giannis is starting to become a big superstar. Like, it was Curry and Clay the last few years.
It's the loyalty of the team. It's the growth within the team. It's the Embiid. It's the Simmons. It's the It's not the guy that comes into a team and stamps his footprint and then moves on 2 years later.
LeBron feels like the last guy of that era.
LeBron, for me, really just went to LA because he wanted his business interests to grow, because he knows post.
He's just like, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm not really. I don't really care. He doesn't really care. He shouldn't care. He's 35.
And the whole Magic thing was a bit weird, but
yeah, but that was just Rob Pelinka being completely.
And again, that's to tie it back in circus shit. Where I don't think Celtics are that. The Celtics aren't.
Back end, they're very strong. I think
they're in like a nucleus team with a proper structure in there, and once you throw these other guys in there, I think it just throws the balance out of whack.
It's almost like a pop. It's a system. It's a system team. You're not bigger than the system.
Yeah.
And in LA, you're not bigger than you shouldn't be bigger than the ego. And there's an ego there. I think that's the same Golden State system team. Curry plays 32 minutes a night. Clay plays 33 minutes a night. You're not bigger than the team. This is your system. The Celtics should be a system team. Kyrie is not a system player.
I don't know what he is, man. He's bizarre.
Not a system player. He's, I think Kevin Durant put aside his ego to win a championship and get paid a little bit of money along the way. That's really what it is. All right, I've won a ring. I've won 2 rings.
But how, like, to come at it the other way, how unique is that really? Like, I feel like we're starting to make that type of thing look like it's just the norm. Like, you just sign for a team and it's mad. Like, I think there's probably 5 or 6 situations in the league at the moment that's great. But there's probably 100 where it's like, this guy's basically struggling to stay in the league. Well, we glorify that. And I just look at this Celtics team and go, there doesn't seem to be like a defined timeline where 4 years this team will cook, they'll become something great. Like, it felt like they cooked for a bit, and their big payoff was last year.
Their big payoff was last year because Jason Tatum had a breakout year. This year he wasn't the same.
Oh, that was weird too. There we go, Jason Tatum. Where did that go?
Jaylen Brown, where did that go for half the season?
Second year, it's understandable. It's a second year guy. Like, and then there was the rumors of AD and stuff like that.
Number 2 pick,
Behind Simmons, was he?
Behind Simmons.
Yeah.
Lonzo was 3.
Yeah. Behind Simmons. You could have been supporting Celtics, man. We could have been supporting Celtics, I should say.
Nah, Philly.
It's all
Trust
about
the process. Yeah, I gotta love Embiid. He's hilarious. Such a troll.
But yeah, it's...
But this is the kind of league we're in now, is that, you know, D'Angelo Russell is an unrestricted free agent at Brooklyn this year. They're quite happy for him to walk. He took them to the postseason. No one else did. They're quite happy for him to walk and sign Kyrie, who is essentially a mood killer, into a young team that is really up and coming, has the smarts. They're kind of a center away, a decent center away from probably top 4 in the East. And they're going to take D'Angelo Russell out of there and put Kyrie in.
But is Kyrie a leader of young men?
Kyrie isn't a leader at all.
But
he is a guy that needs a second superstar and a whole bunch of bums to take over a team.
It's a weird thing because...
He will fit very well at the Knicks if KD... I mean, KD's never going to the Knicks now. I don't think he's going to the Knicks.
Ankle or whatever happened.
Do they give him the max?
Yeah.
He's out for a year.
But I can see Kyrie with a bunch of young guys who are just like, Kyrie's the man. Like, there's 11 guys here buying into the Kyrie hype. Yeah, How great's that?
But no one at the Celtics bought into the Kyrie hype.
Well, that's the thing.
You talk to Terry Rozier, didn't buy in. Jason Tatum didn't buy in. Marcus Smart didn't buy in. These guys are all third, fourth year, second year players. They didn't buy into Kyrie.
But they're already at the Celtics, which is our expectations are high. We have a bar to hit. Yeah. We need to hit that bar. Like at Brooklyn, it's like, we're just happy to be in the playoffs, man. We got one game off of Philly. How good was that? And didn't they get 4-piece rolled out of the series, basically?
Yeah.
Like that fits Kyrie. To me, that fits Kyrie's personality better than what the Celtics had, which was like a real nucleus of the team. But before, like last year, it was great. Then Kyrie just turned into this weird, like, what's going on here? Like, and then it was almost like an explosion happened, and then it was never the same again type situation.
Something happened
yeah.
behind the scenes where they're just like, nah, this is toxic. This is no good. Well, on both sides of the kind of fence, really.
Really weird, because I could have seen, like we did predict them having 60 wins for starters, you know, and what did they end up with?
49, I think.
49.
Yeah.
Third in the East, fourth in the East, fifth. It's been so long since I've even looked at the table.
No, fourth in the East.
Yeah,
fourth in the East.
I should have done we did this research like 4 weeks ago, and then we've been trying to get to this podcast. They ended up finishing fourth in the East behind Philly. So 49 and 33, not the worst season for a team, but with high expectations.
Yeah.
But a lot of teams struggled this season. Like a lot of teams were like, they should have been 5 or 10 wins more than they really finished this year. Houston, Philly, we felt like could have had 5 or 6 more wins.
Yeah, but they blew up their franchise 3 times in a season. What do you do?
The Warriors only had 57 wins. Denver and Portland, 54-43. Utah had a struggle. OKC under 50 wins. Spurs somehow, there were some weird things happened in this league this year, I think. And Celtics just kind of contributed to that with their bizarre locker room shit that... we'll talk about it. We'll obviously go through the finals in the next episode, but the way the media kind of these storms that happen, and then they seem to self-replicate themselves, and cause even more problems. And then suddenly all these years are going, oh, what's the latest in the Kyrie drama? And you're just like, who cares? Like the guy's just playing. It's similar to the Fultz thing. I always go back to that Fultz thing where that snowballed on itself, and suddenly they just went gone, and then no one's talking about that anymore. Look, they couldn't seem to just squash that, man.
Yeah.
But is that the Boston market? Is that their media? They all seem to be like Australia has this culture of you're great, but as soon as you fuck up, we're getting our knives out and we're going to stab you, mate. They kind of have that too. The same thing. Like as soon as that whole thing happened in a quarter of the way through the season, the knives came out, and it was like, this will never be the same, Kyrie. And I feel like he might have felt that and just went, well, fuck yous then. I don't really want to be here. I'll just play ball because that's what I do. And that's probably the worst kind of mix for Kyrie. Yeah. I don't think Kyrie thrives in that. Kyrie thrives in...
Who knows what he thrives in, really? Here
you go. Have the ball at the end of games. Well, do whatever you like.
Does he just pull out a complete... Now that KD's pretty much fucked, Does he pull out Rab and go, hey, LeBron, do you want to play together next year?
Well, they got so much cap space, man. They do. Lakers have got cap space for that. Oh, it's going to be a weird postseason. Like, it's going to be bizarre.
Because they could literally just have LeBron, Kyrie, and trade for Anthony Davis and just a whole bunch of bums from fucking G League and probably win a championship.
Possibly.
Yeah.
And it's the Lakers, so everyone's going to be like, wow, Lakers, big market.
Yeah.
Thirsty for it.
Three superstars, some cheap bums that they can just get in.
But they're there, yeah. Anyway, fucking Lakers, man. But yeah, so Baynesy had 3 injuries this season. We'll get back on the old Baynesy. A hamstring, finger injury that was pretty big, and then the foot injuries. Had a few foot injuries at the end of the season,
which was been a continuation.
He had an ankle, and then he had a little bit of a knee as well. A little bit older, a little bit wiser, but a little bit more susceptible to injury, maybe. Yeah, what did you think about his season, really?
Yeah, injury prone. I think they were wary of bringing his volume to the game. Played in spurts, didn't really start this season. You know, probably will play less next season. But you just don't know. 35 next year. Probably play a little bit less next season. This season, played well, was good in the system, but we didn't see a lot of him because of the injuries, really. And when he was back, he wasn't played to the full extent.
They revved up his minutes a lot. I thought, like, he and Horford is a good combo. You know, a center power forward combo. But for some reason, like last year, it worked well, but this year it wasn't really working. I don't know if it was Horford had a few patches of really poor form sort of at the start, and in the middle of the season, like there was stretches where it's like, oh, Horford's in pretty bad form, pretty bad shape. Towards the end of the season, he started to pick up a little bit, and then obviously Baynesy going in and out of the team. But again, the versatility that Celtics had to just keep throwing bodies in there kind of messed that up. I mean, if Baynesy didn't get injured, he probably would have played similar to last year where he wasn't starting, and then he just ended up starting every game for the last 50 games of the season and pretty much going in as their main guy. And then maybe that has an effect. Like they were able to juggle it and manage it, and that didn't really help Baynesy in general. What were his stats doing? He took way more threes this year. He took 61, so he shot 21 of 61. Not 47%, but 34%, not too bad. On volume, his shooting numbers were way down. 223 shots this year, down from 446. That's a lot of offense. Yeah. 446 shots is a lot of offense for a guy who doesn't shoot threes.
Yeah, but Uncle Doodoo took Uncle Doodoo took a lot of the volume of shooting away from a lot of the other, because this is what you fucking paid this guy for, is to hit 35 a night. Again, he's bigger than the system.
So going into that postseason, they had a sweep of the Pacers where everyone said, they're back, sweep, they swept the Pacers. The Pacers pretty much had no reason being there, like no right.
No, they had no right to finish fifth in the.
It was after poor old Oladipo going down. They really had no right finishing in fifth. 48 win, only one win behind the Celtics. How did that happen? Yeah. But then you kind of look down: Brooklyn, Orlando, Detroit, Charlotte, Miami, Washington. What else really is there? You know, It's kind of like, the cream rose to the top a little bit for Indiana. It smacked 4-0. And everyone was like, oh, they're back. Like, the Celtics are back. A 4-0 slapping of Indiana. Uncle Drew was playing really well in that series too. Uncle Doodoo, we should call him.
Uncle Doodoo, yeah, he played really well in that series. And then he just went missing.
Yeah, disappeared. So they got through that series and then went on to play the Bucks. The Giannis steam train. Just going down to the playoff totals. And what did he say? He went 6 for 30 or something in one of the games, and then just Uncle Doodoo shot progressively worse.
I think he shot 102 points on 101 shots for the series or something.
So terrible.
Just terrible.
Partly you're just like, oh man, that sucks.
It does suck, but it's terrible shots. And then he's like, yeah, man, I'm going to get better. And he just got worse. And it's like, don't come out and say these things.
Yeah, he said, so what did he had 15 of 26 in game 2 against the Pacers, and then 7 of 19. But in the last game against the Pacers, they won by 4. He had 4 of 13. So it looked like, they were starting starting badly, and then he had 12 of 21 in the first game against the Bucks, 4 of 18, then 8 of 22, then 7 of 22, then 6 of 21. Oh man, that's brutal. I kind of feel bad because they did get slapped by the
Bucks.
The Bucks after that first game. They won by 22.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh no, the Bucks.
The Bucks are Paul oh, the Bucks are over. Yeah, no, the Bucks went over.
They just 4-pieced them. Just ran the rack. They beat him by 21, by 7, by 12, and by 25. The last game they just checked out.
Yeah,
they were down 16, and it was just like, we're out.
So
have a good night, everyone. On their own floor. Oh no, they were in the Milwaukee. But yeah, a bit disappointing. Just, I don't know. It looked, at the end of the season, it washed up like a team that had chemistry issues, and then everyone just was like, I don't want to play with these guys anymore. Fuck it, we lost. Who cares? For a big franchise like the Celtics, in a big market, in a big team, in a market that has expectations for the team to win, like it's a bit brutal, man.
It is a little bit brutal, but there's nothing much you can do in that respect. You were stuck with what you had. It was kind of that's for the season, and the postseason just didn't come to fruition. Players didn't play up to their right mind. A bit of chemistry breakdown, and then you get what you get, which is an early exit and a whole lot of, this guy's going to get traded. This guy's going to get traded. But
just the post-mortem of just like, oh, fuck, that all just fell over. And, let's dig through the ashes of this fucking postseason. Baynesy didn't have that much of an impact. He did play, what have we got here? 12.8 minutes per game in the playoffs this season. Didn't take that many shots. Did shoot 57% from 3, 33%, so down from last year. Obviously, had that crazy postseason, 47%. But he, again, wasn't a scorer. Like, they didn't need him to score. They needed him to play defense. And then, obviously, they ran into Giannis, and Giannis is going to kind of destroy anyone if he really gets his teeth into you. Yeah.
That is very true.
But that kind of concludes. Like, where do they go from here? What's the next step for the Celtics? No, it's such a mess, eh?
Well, we'll be back in probably about 8 weeks with a kind of a wrap up of all the movements, I suppose. Over
and a preview.
The preview
to go into next season. Yeah, but I don't know. Like, where do they go from here? Do you re-sign Kyrie? Is Kyrie a free agent? I can't even remember.
Yeah, complete free agent. You don't re-sign Kyrie.
You don't re-sign? No. Thanks. Bill Simmons wanted to drive him to the airport.
Well, you re-sign him and trade him. That would be hilarious.
That'd be interesting. Chris Paul style sign and trade. Or Blake Griffin was the same sign and trade. I don't know, man. It's a problem. If this was Hayward's 5th year, you would be all right with, that's cool, man. Like, you had a bad injury. We'll keep going with you. That's fine. But it's only his 2nd year, and, you're at a real crossroads with the team. Do you really want to go hitch your wagon to him again? No. They've got a few good young guys. Like, they've got a crop of good young players. But at the same time, those young players are still very, should we buy into these guys? Jaylen Brown and Tatum, obviously, yeah. But then you can't hitch your wagon to 2 guys like that. No. Really, you can't. Like, you can't just go, those 2 are the future. We've got 5 years. Let's build around them. Like, it's not going to work like that. It's just, and then, Marcus Smart signed, I think, a $50 million deal over 3 years, like a pretty big deal. Al Horford's not getting any younger, 32. Morris, 29. He's a guy who's an alpha, yet irrational confidence, just takes shots. And you're like, do I really want him running the offense? Tice had a pretty good season for them, notable stuff. Robert Williams, Time Lord, the guy they drafted. Yeah. Greg Monroe was on their roster as well for 2 games. We forget about that.
That's true. It's also on Philly's roster.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I can't believe... He was there last year, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Or was he on the Bucks?
No, he was there last year.
I remember Runmo, the era of Greg Runmo. So, I don't know, man. The Celtics are like a sneaky... We're there. We just can't get over the hill, but the sneaky, like, no, you're really not. Like, you look like you're there, but you're about 4 steps away, and unless you acknowledge you're 4 steps away, you're never going to get back to that spot to get over the hump. Yeah. And they're really in a danger of falling in that hole of just, we thought we were there and then we just weren't and we didn't realize it. And then 4 years later, we're in the lottery again or we've blown it up but it's the Celtics too.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess that's it. We finally got it. The Baynesy stuff.
We did.
We're nice and warmed up to do a finals wrap up for Bogut. Well, not a wrap up.
Not a wrap up.
Yeah.
Talk about the finals.
Talk about the finals in the next episode.
Indeed.
But yeah, find us on SoundCloud, #The Collective, Podcast Network. Come and see us. Send us a comment, like, share, and subscribe. Do all that sort of stuff. I'll upload this one onto SoundCloud very soon so everyone can get onto that. And we'll see everyone on the next episode, which will be very soon. So take it easy.
Peace out.
Peace.